So, hello everybody, and welcome to the Magical New Beginnings podcast. Your Magical New Beginnings begins here. And today I am super excited to be talking with Kathryn Toomey. Welcome, Kathryn.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me here.
You're very welcome. We met, or this is the first time we've met, but we've actually co-authored a book together, Return to the Mother World.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
our work, there it is, Return to the Mother World. Our work really much aligns with each other. So I'm really excited today to be delving into some of your amazing abilities. So let me just introduce your awesomeness to everybody that's listening right now. So Kathryn, you are a massage therapist and a qualified Reiki 1 and 2 practitioner. You also do pregnancy massage, which I want to talk about. Crystal Science, Aromatherapy, Reflexology. You're a woman after my own heart. I have a list very similar to this as well. Here we go. You've got a keen interest in art, travel, moonology, meditation, yoni immersion, womb connection, and embodiment practices, all of which add to her ability to treat patients and access the needs of others across a broad spectrum of life and its stages. Now, I also love the fact that you're an author of children's books, The Lunar Wisdom and Magnetic Abundance. And you're also an accomplished author. I've seen at least 3 books, so I'll let you name those in a minute. Returning Extra on the Australian series, Wentworth, and Neighbours. I used to love Neighbours. Used to watch it all the time in the UK. So I may have actually seen you. Yeah, and you're also very prolific in podcasting as well, which is how we've ended up doing this podcast together. So
yeah.
Where would you like to begin with some of your bio?
Okay. I think I like to imagine maybe like the senses of embodiment that can sometimes be really lacking in the kind of the new age space that we find so many people of our age group and younger looking at. And I think that's just such a wonderful thing. And I know for myself, what's kept me going through the different areas of my life that I've, had accomplishment in is that idea of personal development. And in my early 20s, that's when I started my massage certificate course. And I remember the teacher putting on a Mariah Carey song, and I was like, oh, like this. But it was just so interesting how the education part of my mind was able to say, the little voices, why don't you do something that you wouldn't normally do and actually listen to the words and feel the music and see how you feel at the end of it. And then what I sort of realized from that is that you kind of have an imprint. Because if I just negated or just, felt a negative emotion through that experience that I didn't have, I had to be in the class and I really respected the teacher. But if I just kind of switched off, then I wouldn't have realized in myself that I had put an imprint on to me, that it was those 3-4 minutes of the song that really mattered, and not the song and not the artist and not the chart that it came from. And I think that's helped me to lift off other situations where I felt bias or judgment. So I got a different lesson. And I think I kind of felt like it was okay to feel a little bit older than I actually am, because like I'll play catch up in some other part of my life. So I don't know what that really says. I don't know how that I don't know how that message gets sent to other people, but only like when that was happening, I hadn't done any kind of TV work. I hadn't done any student films. I didn't have an IMDb profile. I hadn't been on a stage or, in a really long time. I didn't have, a #1 Amazon best-selling book, which I do love, having and being a part of in this industry and at this point in my life. That's really exciting. Um, and even as far as being a business person goes, even though I was studying massage all the way back then and having my business, I couldn't have imagined that it would have put me in the place that I am, where I'm on a discovery still, but kind of trying to trailblaze uh, like an antiquity, showing people um, how important it is and how much it can inspire wealth in their life to actually be drawn into body work and physical therapy and that kind of arena. That's really what I feel.
Having read your chapter in the book Return to the Mother World, you've definitely had your fair share of trauma in your life. Emotional trauma, physical trauma, mental trauma. Not that we can really like separate it, but that we do have those labels at the moment. So how do you when you look back now on that time, because you had a car accident, you also had eating disorders, when you look back on those trauma times now, what gifts do you see? How do you feel like they kind of have led you to doing the work that you're doing now?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. Look, I think that in life, there are going to be things that happen that bend, stretch the road in some way, because otherwise we'd just all be in sight in a way. I know that sounds really bad, but I just firmly have to sort of say, especially as a therapist when I'm treating clients, that sometimes things have happened and it's not the thing that happens, it's really the way that it's that we shift through, around, or away from trauma. And I guess I can't explain like things that happen, but at the very least, as a therapist, I can look at being in the moment. So for treating somebody else, and they've been in a car accident, a client, and they have lower back pain or neck pain or shoulder pain. When treating them, I can at least be absolving their sort of relationship to pain, because you do need to step past the actual trauma emotionally to be able to heal physically. So I don't really have a, a direct answer for myself, only in that it's helping me as a therapist to be able to feel the feels with people that go through that description, in terms of an accident. And then I think also in terms of eating disorders, I just feel like it's part of what happens when you then feel like you can give more. There's just so many people in the world right now that are just giving more than I feel like they would have been able to give if they hadn't gone through something traumatic in their life. So I feel like trauma really does strengthen a person more to be able to help somebody else more. And if we were all helpers and all helping people in the best way that we can, then that's also a really, like, that's a deep strength. I remember when I was in my early 20s and I did a Reiki 1 certificate, and that's what actually got me into massage therapy. I was walking through a Bayside main street, walking along with some friends, and I was smiling at everybody like this. And it's only like years later, I kind of thought to myself, I didn't really need to be quite that outwardly happy. And I think that I should just take a little bit of courage in saying that age has really helped me to tune in to healing, that, you know, some of those past traumas, and, you know, just maybe that's really the best that you can do.
Okay. So when you're working with the body, so you have a human body laying down, are you able to, do you get any kind of like intuitive information about, you know, maybe what emotions are stored in this particular muscle, or you know, the shock and the trauma, like if car accident, there's a lot of shock that gets held in the body. Are you able to tune into that, or is it just more about just feeling?
I think for me as a therapist, I do all my expression, like if I'm having an expression of how particular traumas in the body has affected someone, I'm going to pick that up in talking to them. Their body is their body to me, and like, to a point, from a massage therapist, a remedial therapist point of view, you have to make some standard relationship to where particular parts are going to be, and they're most likely always going to be in those particular areas, talking about bones and muscles and tendons. So in a conversation, that is really the only place that I would be having a discussion with somebody about whether there'd been a previous injury or whiplash or something like that.
Mm. I have my own whiplash injury. Well, it's more of a compression of disc because I fell off. Well, I landed on my head 3 times in my life, and the last one compressed the disc in my neck. So yeah, I love in the book that you actually give the details on how to do a self massage. I think it was the womb self massage,
Yes,
wasn't it? But is there,
yes.
like, you know, if somebody comes to you, not, it doesn't sound like you're just giving them a massage and they go away again. I feel like you're talking to them about self-care, giving them stuff that they can do at home. Is that right?
Well, yes, especially with something like womb massage, which is really, really important in an online space to actually talk about, because I'm just in this, you know, realization that really, even if you Google it, and I was in the process of watching with my daughter on her YouTube yesterday, and there is some people that she's quite addicted to watching, that have something like 209 million views, and they're just like a prankster. They're just like doing pranks and handing out money. And you know, a couple of the other ones that she watches are just basically gamers, and I'm really, like, it really just blew my mind, because if you look up something like what we're talking about, massage and rebirth and things like that, there's like not really anybody offering very much communication. And so I was really happy and impressed when we went through the process of writing Return to the Mother World, to be able to send some inspiration, and actually do some meditations for when you have your period, and for the places in the body that really work to massage. For example, massaging the Achilles is a really good spot to massage when you have your period. Full stop. It's just so, so lovely to be even able to throw massage out there into the arena, as a way to allow women to feel, especially in the younger age group, to feel like they're allowed to express what's going on in their body without it having to be um, like an external parade. Um, and what I mean by it's not even like you would go to the doctor and see a flyer up on the wall that says something like, you know, massaging your body at menstruation is a comfortable and easy situation. And there's just so many girls that would be going through exactly the same thing that I went through, even though it's like 40 years later, when they're going to get their period for the first time, where they're just going to feel that sense of shame and guilt and, you know, just the idea of offering self-massage is really, um, really like my sort of, I can't think of the words, just, you know, self-explanatory thing to be able to offer young people. You know, and even just for the generation when you're kind of going through perimenopause and menopause, just to offer massage as something that is really how do I say it? Like you can just, it's reachable, it's attainable, it's something that you can just book in to have an experience of. And that I just hate the idea that the whole wellness perspective takes it sort of away so that it's possibly unattainable for everybody. And that even just self massage and reflexology of the hands and the ears and the feet is something that you can just do yourself.
Awesome. And do you have any videos or anything or any references where people can find out the points or how to do that?
Yeah, well, you can find reflexology guides easily online. So I was just looking up a hand and ear guide yesterday. Of course, with the feet, I know the feet quite well using reflexology in my practice in my business. And I love working with feet because there's so much that you can offer when somebody presents themselves for massage, because it's a second modality. You can just so often find things going on with the rest of the body that are actually in the feet. And then as well, if you're like a younger person and you want to explore, um, you know, just feeling into the body. Even just massaging the top of the big toe is where your headaches are. So obviously for, you know, for the womb and for menstruation, or for just that, those times when you're feeling a little bit introverted in the perimenopause or just having headaches, massaging the top of the big toe and just inside the two next toes. Around that area is the neck, and then the top of the big toe is the head in reflexology. So yeah, just kind of getting tactile and getting into yourself is a way. And then what else did I say? Yes, and then the bottom of the hands is also the sort of way, like this is like a sort of an anger spot around here as well.
Hmm. And isn't this one here like good for pain as well? If you've got
Yeah, so
headache or pain or
this is
menstrual pain?
like a toxic, like re, re, um good to do after massage. You'll find that this is much more after you've had a massage. You'll find that you'll leave and you'll actually naturally and intuitively play with this area, because it, in a sense, it's all that's left, because after massage your body is going to then try and remove the toxins. So we recommend having, like, you know, a big 600 ml of water or lots of herbal tea, because you're going to want to ingest that water and then the body's going to collect it through the urine, and then you're going to wee out hopefully a whole lot of toxins and things that was in the blood, and makes the body so much more healthy. Massage improves all the organs in the body, improves them to work better and stronger and with more intent. Because when you're a muscle and you're pushing on a muscle, you're effectively pushing old blood or, you know, blood tissue out. And then when you do that, it's sort of like a sponge. And then when it kind of goes up, it lets fresh blood in, or it tells the body it needs fresh blood, and then it sends the fresh blood in. So obviously, deoxygenated blood goes back out and gets cleaned and everything. So that's kind of the premise of massage. Obviously, really good for circulation. So people that have lymphoma, or people that have bad circulation, a lot of people get pins and needles in their calves, their lower legs and calves and feet. So massage is a really good sort of way to kind of preempt those sorts of things that might be going on in the body, as by way of improving the circulation. And improving circulation generally is really good. And really, really good for anxiety, really good for depression. So I'm a big one to talk about for things that are going on, like current issues that you're having, that might kind of be whirring up into some kind of mental focus, to go get yourself a massage. And don't look at it like, oh, like not too much, but to kind of really to reinvigorate what's going on for you when you get some sort of external pressure from all parts of the body. So it might even only be a foot massage. Imagine just if you're feeling really stressed, and then there's that external person or service that might be, say, giving you a foot massage. But if that isn't where you are, then it's okay to go and get a foot massage, go and get reflexology, have self-massage of the feet. Yeah.
I remember when I was doing my case studies for reflexology, I was working with a lady who was desperately trying to get pregnant. And she had been trying for 2 years and was just about to go down the checks for him and her, and IVF route potentially if there was a problem to be found. And I did 3 treatments on her over a week. And on the 3rd treatment, I was massaging her feet. And I just said to her out of the blue, oh, when's your next period due? And she said, well, actually, like any day now. So like I'm playing with her feet, and there was no swelling, and I just said to her, there's no sign in your feet whatsoever that you're going to have have a period. She went, oh, really? Well, I could be pregnant now. And I got this intuitive download, and I just said, yeah, you could very well be pregnant, and the babies are going to be fine. And that last sentence came out of my mouth before I could even stop it. I said, I think you are pregnant, and the babies are going to be fine. And it turned out that she was having twins.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love how when you work with people, you have this way to be able to be sort of absorbed by what is going on and the premise of why you're having space with them. I think that's really exciting. I don't do the same sort of work that you do, but I really do enjoy physical work and body work where you are massaging someone's shoulder or someone's neck, and you're having that conversation with them about whatever they're going through that's brought on the pain. Because I just see it as such it's like the street to people, more happier people, is to be able to explain that pain doesn't have to be something that you live with, and that it is okay for you to kind of take down those walls. And as an example, I do some corporate massage as well, and I was working in a building that had 10 people coming in, and we were doing like a neck and shoulder massage, 15 minutes per corporate person. And they had like a lovely property management company, and they were coming in. And like we're doing this massage, but the people have that work with computers and things, they have this incredible stiffness and this incredible like down to their shoulders, everything is in front of them. And it's really just hard to actually if you just kind of say, just loosen up your shoulders, just, put your hands out, hands up, hands around, do this. and they're doing it and there's no movement, and then you like turn your neck, um, and it's really good because like they're just, you know, a group of 10 people, right? And then obviously in my work with regular clients, it is just not the same experience. So this is one separate experience, and they're just like boards, and you kind of think, I didn't even know these people existed. And so everything I'm saying is actually valid. It is, you know, really acceptable to just bring down some barriers. Because if you do stay stressed and you do find, from a physical point of view, that there is all this neck and back pain, it is going to end up being headaches. It is going to end up manifesting in some other way.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a whole combination of things going on there, and I'm as guilty as anybody of that. And I've now realized that that's what's been going on in my body, because, you know, I would sit for hours just working with clients and then, you know, writing things up and working on my computer. So, you know, you've got the sitting stationary for many hours at a time. You know, if you're working in an office, you've got to be, you know, working away at your desk. You're not doing any stretches. You're not, and you mentioned about, you know, pushing the blood, you know, pressing the muscle to push the blood out of the muscle in order for new blood to come in. That's just not happening if you're sitting still at a computer. You've got the workload, the stress of having to do that. And it's just not a good combination for our bodies. We weren't designed to sit behind computers.
Yeah, in fact, I mean, that goes back to what I was saying, that I think that there's a lot of people our age that I think, you know, it's clicked and they know to have body care. But I think there's a lot of people in the generation below us that got hand cramps from using a phone. And when I do massage, I love this. Is my favorite. Like there's like a specialty of like getting down to the elbow here. And if you push in at the muscle here, it feels like a, you know, Egyptian water tunnel. Like it feels like something so important is going on. But quite honestly and genuinely, it's going on for your heart and your, you know, your beating, and, you know, like your longevity and your physical and body processes are all going on the basis of the blood being pumped and the tenseness of the muscles, and the muscles are tense here, and then you come down to here, and then the hand is on a mouse or whatever. So you kind of, and if you're with people that don't have regular massage, or it just hasn't been something that has come up for them as something important, you just find that all those kind of stresses and tenseness and anxiety is really, it's untapped. It's untapped. And I just find it's one of those things where we're talking about womb space, and we're talking about so many things that that are kind of going on in our bigger world. And I just really hope that we do work out how important our bodies are, and our physical hearts are, and our blood is. I really hope that we you know, continue to promote things like yoga, and massage, and all these beautiful sorts of, you know, things that we're trying to get into our busy schedules.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to add in there some EFT tapping as well for
And some EFT tapping as well.
Yes, tapping on the acupressure points while you're focusing on negative emotions or thoughts helps you also to release from the body, because in traditional Chinese medicine, they believe that the diaphragm is a controller of where the emotions are stored in the body. And our emotions get stored in our muscle groups, and we have specific muscle groups that are designed to hold certain emotions like fear, anger. But if you get an emotion, if the diaphragm like sends something to the wrong place, or that particular muscle group is already full, it'll have to put it somewhere else. And that's where you get more problems, apparently, is when the muscle group that maybe you've got so much anger and resentment and frustration going on, and you have to stash it, your body has to stash it somewhere. So that's why something like EFT is really good to get that
Absolutely.
energy going
Actually,
within
there is an
the
EFT point that's right there, which is right kind of where the shaking
yeah.
of the anger. I feel like so many of the therapies that we can come about to desire to commonly use in life, they all have to have this linking up, which is definitely something that I think Western people really need to, or will eventually, be much more mindful of. I mean, it's even just a simple thing. I remember talking about this in one of the podcasts in Return to the Mother World again. Um, is that when we're all sitting around the campfire with our mates, and we've all got like our, our cup of tea in hand, and we're all like in this space where we're all looking at the same thing, our bodies actually come to a common ground. They come to a common sense of being. But if we're in an office environment where we're in and out of like electric doors and seated, and breaking, and then or not even necessarily, like, even if you're like doing building, if you're a builder or a contractor or a plumber, or a teacher, or all these sorts of different things, you're in the mind's mental processes. You're coming, you're going, you're consciously taking action for the next steps. And the idea for massage therapy for me is to lock in massage therapy into those steps, those conscious steps that you're taking, because you might not have that opportunity to go and be sitting around the campfire with that cup of tea where your body is in that fulfillment, which is what I really like to promote, that massage therapy really can offer. Because I can just kind of feel like there's just such a low energy for healers, because there's like the heights of going away to the wellness retreat, and then there's like the lows of where there's so many kind of shopping center massage and things like that. And when it comes to promoting massage, it seems like we wait until there's something wrong, and we just don't have to wait until there's something wrong. It's such a sensible thing, because if you're in an anxious situation or a stressful situation, or you're experiencing trauma, or going through all these kind of catchphrases that we all hear, because we're all on Google, and we're all like, oh, well, I just feel like there's so many people waking up to these perspectives of magazines being so much more online, and the trend is all to be
Yes.
making sure that we have some vision of that. And I just want to be, alongside the makeup with that beautiful little oil and towel, the oils for massage and the towels for massage, and just, you know, breaking down the body shaming, and just using that as, yeah, as just to rekindle people's perspectives on their body and their consciousness, and how they can feel as opposed to how they might be feeling.
I also think that, the generations that are growing up now with mainly computer, online gaming, spending so much time on our own. I mean, even us, we're talking to each other through the internet. We're getting less and less and less, we're getting further and further away from physical touch.
Yes.
And it's that
Yes,
physical
exactly.
touch that
And
as human
that's
beings
us.
we need.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's us. That's us. I mean, for me, I'm so damn hard trying to catch up to the younger generation. And as soon as I feel like I'm there, I actually get blown away by just how much computers have actually really taken over. And not even I realized. I didn't even realize, because I'm still locked into that really humble belief that we can all just still go camping, or go away to actually, do that engorging of relaxation. And I encourage people to book in that massage while they're away. because I just feel like that's mostly where it's presented to the average person. It's not necessarily just something that they're incorporating in to daily life. Like if you've got a busy schedule, or you're running a family and stuff like that. I know that there's so many other things that you want to pay for, but I think it's really good to get to know people in your local area that offer massage, and just just have a look into it. Book one, see how you go. Yeah, exactly. I just feel like we find it so hard because we are online ourselves, and then it's so much harder to seek that out unless you're offering a service. And then once you're offering a service, it is a service, and it's really hard to really bring in a sense of the importance of it, especially in for menstruation, because I just feel like it is something that's a little bit lacking, and it does definitely help girls that are going through maybe some body conscious issues. I know myself with anorexia, if I'd kind of known more and had more attunement to that kind of a thing. I remember when I was going through my therapy, my big kind of height experience, my aha moment was actually that there was a computer in the cafe that I could go and use. And so I think I've got different heights that might be different to the heights that people with body conscious issues are facing. And I know, Sharon, that you talk about people that are trying to conceive. And I know that there's a lot of people in the industries that I'm talking in, and they highly recommend reducing levels of anxiety as a first step to being able to conceive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Number one reason I find when I'm working with people around conception is like, how much stress is your body currently under? All right, because you think about your body needs energy in order to create and grow a baby. And if your body's energy system is firefighting the whole time, the stress from the boss, the stress from the husband, the stress from the kids, the mother-in-law, the X, Y, and Z, whatever's going on in your life, and you're busy running around, there is no energy there to create life. So the body's not going to go, oh, well, we'll give it a go. So quite often that's the number one thing I look at with people is like, what can you do in order to create space in your life to have a massage, to have long baths, to walk in nature, to do some meditation, to go to yoga, to, eat good food, to take care of self, to look after yourself. And I love your womb massage that you give in the book there, because the connection with your body, we are so disconnected from our body. And that's one of the other things I get people to do, is to connect with their womb, to have a look inside, to feel inside what's going on inside of that womb. Is the womb a welcoming space for a baby? How are you feeling? I mean, the amount of people that I work with when we go back to conception, and the energy in the womb is just chaotic, and it's, mum and dad are not even on the same page around having a baby, and it's just, yeah. So
well, I love that. I love that you would take it to all the way down through those levels of counseling, just to say, I mean, I feel like that is the same thing that I'm doing so often when I'm trying to, when you talk to somebody about their body trauma, whether it's in their back or neck or shoulders or wherever it is, when you're getting a description of why they're here, why are they here for the service. And what I love most about it is that stepping through to get the person to open up and to have that discovery. And then in that journey of nurturing them into a better place. And then in such a short amount of time, you have someone feeling so much better. And that is really the joy that brings me so much joy. And I love that you've said that about what you do as well, because I just really feel like we both have that, you know, that steel where we really want to imagine just a better life for that person that's coming to see us for services. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know, if you're going to become a parent, you're going to need to make space for that child. It's also the same thing applies as being a single person and wanting to be in a relationship. Like if you are super busy running your own, like I'm talking from personal experience here, running your own business, traveling the world teaching, right? This was my story. You know, constantly on the go, almost working 24/7. It's like, well, how much space do you have in your life to actually give to somebody else as a relationship? And that's
Yeah.
something that I always encourage parents to be, is to like look at your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is going to have to change, but you not only are you going to be in service to your child and have to, you know, to give up some of your space and time to that child, but you also need to do more self-care, because
Yeah.
you can't, you know, you've got to fill your cup first before you can help somebody else fill theirs. So that child is going to need you to be the best version of who you can possibly be. And if you're stressed to hell, if you're, you know, you're trying to be superwoman and doing too many things, you're not taking care of yourself, you've got a poor diet, you're not having regular massage. I am super lucky to be here in Thailand, where there's a massage shop every 50 yards. You know, it's like you would
Yeah.
have to be very, very, very stupid not to get massages here, because not only are they amazing, but they're also quite cheap.
Isn't
So
it interesting how people in those eastern, is it eastern countries? Is Thailand
yeah,
like an eastern? Yep. How much more in their body they hold, they know that someone that works in an office is going to be walking along like this, whereas someone that is you know, like in a more general space, maybe I don't know, like in retail or something like that, they're going to be walking along like this. Like it's so interesting how it's so much more clear, and there's such a sense of clarity for that in those Eastern countries. Whereas in the Western world, we're in so much denial about that as an experience, like in our work life.
absolutely, absolutely. So Kathryn, can you talk a little bit more about your pregnancy yoga, pregnancy, I've got yoga on the brain right now, pregnancy massage that you do. How is
Yeah.
that different?
Yeah, thanks for talking about that. So, yeah, so we offer pregnancy massage in our to our clients. So I guess the real relationship with that is really what you've spoken about. So certainly not just I don't want to rule out massage for mums and dads. So definitely what you've talked about. So in that kind of menstrual phase, massage is just so good and highly recommended. And there's so many points on the body that can reduce anxiety, that can reduce headaches, that can reduce bloating. And so I highly recommend looking up reflexology or just gentle physical full body massage. And most definitely in the process of conceiving and having conceived, and then having the different trimesters. There's so many pregnancy massage therapists that are out in the world,
Mhm.
and like easily findable, and definitely the midwives and people that manage you during pregnancy would be able to give you some guidance on how to find the right person for you. I really try and talk about in local terms because, like, I'm here in Melbourne, so you know, if somebody sees this and they're in Sydney or Singapore, then they're not going to be able to contact me. So I really, you know, speak on behalf of people that are professionals offering pregnancy massage. I studied at the Australian Pregnancy Massage School, Pregnancy Massage Australia, and they offer amazing courses in pregnancy massage and all the right ways and dealings and contraindications for during the different trimesters. And so, yeah, we just highly recommend to take the pressure off during massage, to encourage touch, to encourage, especially working mums. Like there's so many mums that will work up to like 8.5 months in pregnancy as well. So having that monthly at least, like, you know, most people find it within their budget to be booking in a monthly massage during pregnancy, especially if they're working. So all the way up to, you know, all the way up to 8.5, 9 months, massage is perfect. And there's all sorts of different specialist equipment that a trained pregnancy massage therapist will have. So there's special pillows that you can sit on. So in as you're coming along, I think after the 6 months, you're placing your belly into a pillow and lying on your back. And then after, I think the 7 to 8 months, you're lying on your side. But all of the lower back, lumbar, hips, the coccyx, all the glutes and all those sorts of areas, they all get to have that massage, which is so fantastic leading up to pregnancy, because you're going to be using all those muscles. So it's so highly important and highly educational of you to be creating a space in your body where all those areas are getting like some lubrication, are getting moved around, are getting the blood cycle and everything like that just filled, and it'll just keep you feeling healthy. It'll keep you manifesting for the future of a higher state of health and well-being.
And you talk about embodiment. I mean, the key step to embodiment is to connect with your body, to understand your body. It's also really good if you and your partner maybe want to do a massage course together or something, because that will create more
Yeah,
connection,
actually,
more bonding
yeah, I
within
was
your
just gonna,
relationship.
yeah, I was just gonna say, because it's funny, because what got me started back into massage more recently, because I did take a bit of a break from my original certificate way back in the early 2000s, was the baby massage, which I absolutely adored. And I had my little daughter, you can see her little picture there. I had her in a baby massage class, and we did the baby massage, and we regularly offer massage to each other. She wants to be a massage therapist when she grows up, so it's definitely coming down in the family through that. And she just adores it. She just loves that, like, spine. She's got her little spine, and on either side of the spine is the erector spinae. And so we just get into those muscles. And for a little child who spends way too much time on her iPad, it's ideal for parents to just get down in there with their children and offer them a little shoulder massage as a way to form a little bond of intimacy before bedtime. And, you know, around bath time and things like that, maybe just in bed, they can just turn onto their little tummy, and you can just massage the little muscles on either side of the spine. And you yourself will get that really beautiful feeling, that nurturing of taking care. Like, you might have been on the computer all day. You might want to have a massage and didn't get a booking in, or you might just not have it on your radar, or you might just be laughing or scoffing going, oh my God, it's so expensive. And I totally understand that and know where you're coming from. But even sharing a bond with your partner or your children, especially of that certain age, my little one there, she's 8. So, you know, certainly when you're reading stories and that age group, to be able to get in and form an intimate bond is just such a high task way. I just couldn't recommend that enough as a way to be bonding and a way to communicate and stimulate nurturing between the two, you know, in that.
Yeah. I'm just, I'm thinking of the other end of the life cycle as well. When my father had 11-year journey with dementia. And one of the things that I would do regularly, I used to go and see him every week, was just do a simple hand massage for him, just take some cream, do a little bit of hand reflexology, and he just adored it. Sometimes I
Yes,
would do his feet, but
that's
most
so
of the time,
lovely to hear. Yeah.
yeah. And even when he had forgotten my name, and he still knew he had a daughter called Sharon, but he didn't realize I was his daughter. But he knew that face, and he knew that I did massage for hands, so he would just put his hand out to me. It's like, okay, so you want me to massage your hand, even if I didn't have any cream or anything, you know, I would just do this gentle circling on his hands. So it's just such a lovely way of connecting for
absolutely.
everybody, for older people who are so craving touch, for children,
I was just
babies.
I was just going to say, like what you spoke about with dementia, I definitely can resonate with that. My dad, he also passed away only just a few years ago, and he died from cancer. And one of the nice memories that I do have was massaging his feet, and really getting a sense of where his body was at, as heartbreaking as that was. It's so incredible to me to go from that kind of experience to all the work that I feel like I'm now doing in massage and the promotion of massage, because you have no idea, for people that have dementia, the anxiety that they feel when they are looking at someone that's just human, and that person is looking at them and they recognize them, and they're holding all their memories and they're remembering everything that they've lived through. And there's the most, you know, genuine sense of futility. And then when you break that down, like you say, to just doing a hand massage or just doing a foot beat massage, but having that physical relationship is like how I imagine we were as humans before, you know, things got crazy. I just feel like we always are meant to have been touching each other and holding each other's hands, and, you know, relinquishing maybe the amazing amount of you know, management, you know, energetics that any one individual does have. I just feel like that all just peters down to where we are. And for someone with dementia, to give them a sense of calm, to have that overall sense of calm and give that back to them, is something that's just a really generous activity.
Absolutely, absolutely. I used to, or I also trained in some body work with horses as well, and you know, to be able to be with a horse, to be present with a horse while that horse is going into deep, deep, deep relaxed state, which also puts you in that deep relaxed state as well. So it's lovely how it, you know, as a massage therapist, it's amazing. It's like the work that I do when I'm releasing trauma, is when that person gets to that high state again. It's just like, yay, you can you really feel it within yourself. Kathryn, we could talk for hours and hours, and I want you to come back, and because I want to investigate some more of what's on your abilities here. But if anybody wants to connect with you, can we first of all like list the names of your books again for us?
Yeah,
and
sure. Yeah. So I started off with my my business going onto Facebook. So I started my business in 2019. I started off charging like $20 a massage, and then I just advertised through Facebook, and then eventually ended up being qualified again. And then I went on to increase my business. I then put some chapters into some amazing books. So I've got Lunar Wisdom, I've got Return to the Mother World. I've got another one, I can't remember.
Magnetic Abundance.
Sorry, Magnetic Abundance, yes.
And there's another one.
Like Do More Stupid Things, yeah. So these are all amazing books that have been put together through basically my journey through COVID. So obviously through COVID, I couldn't be massaging. But what I've really, really respected and loved is the women that have just come out of nowhere to be able to support and invigorate like a vibe and you know, a real strength of bonding, to be able to just keep going in what we've sort of experienced, like you say, of just talking to somebody, you know, on the computer or on the phone or whatever like that, just coming together in that. And then also sharing the importance of ground roots, which I just really feel is what we've really come about in our conversation. We've talked about all different stages of life. And I just really appreciate that, because as a therapist, you really, you know, you have no bias. You don't know what you're coming into. And also, um, you know, you really, it is, you can't do it through a screen. You can't, you know, you can only make recommendations for points on the body and things like that, which is just really, really what it's about, I guess. So, yeah, so I've got my books where I've talked a little bit about my journey, or journeys. And then I have a children's book, My Magic Glitter Boots, which I have available. All my books are available on Amazon. I have my main Facebook page, Kathryn Toomey Massage. I have a website, Kathryn Toomey Massage. I work mainly in the Melbourne, Australia, Bayside area. And thank you so much, Sharon. I've really enjoyed talking to you. I really love your birthing platform. I just find it such a strengthening, situationally for me. It's so strengthening, and I really have enjoyed talking to you. Thank you.
You're very welcome, and thank you for coming on Magical New Beginnings podcast. And I'll put all the links below so people can easily find you. Kathryn, as I said, we could talk for hours and on many different subjects. So please come back again, and we'll do another one in a few months' time.
I would love that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.